We all spend a total of 30 hours a week and 1,200 hours a year in school. But have you thought about how your learning has changed to suit us? We are asking the question, what learning resources might we use in the future, and how have they changed? Just since you have been at school, you have seen the use of computers grow and smartboards be introduced. What else will we see in our lifetimes?
Our first sub-question is, how have resources changed throughout schooling? In the 19th century, students only had slates and chalk, and all work was written on the blackboard. During our parent school years, they upgraded to pens and paper, but there was no computers or teaching on these things.
Now we have changed our view on learning. We work in groups and have access to computers and other sources. Learning has changed so much since our parents' time. How much more can it change?
What about the technology that is being developed for us to be able to learn well in the future? Today, more and more technology is being made and planned to eventually be placed in our classrooms. Some of these projects may change the way we learn or think about the world. Originally, young children learnt to read by looking at picture books, but a new invention has changed this. An e-book is a book that has no pages. So how do you read these e-books? E-books allow you to download stories, knowledge, and information into the e-book, and then read them on a screen. Could this be the new technology that we all could be reading in 10 years' time?
E-books can carry over 500 books on one CD. This is a lot less physical space than your average storybook. If we really were to use e-books for schooling in the future, we would not have to carry around our books. We could just have our one e-book with all our information on.
Another piece of technology that could maybe be used in the future is a holographic image generator. Today, the closest we have to holographic images in our classroom is a smartboard. Imagine this, your average classroom has a smartboard that lets you swipe your hands through it in mid-air.
Holographic images are 3D images that seem like the dimension we live in. You could travel around the image at your own will and see it at every angle. The correct technical way of describing this is a photograph of light. We could use this for giving students a real feeling for, say, the solar system, and show smaller children the difference between 2D and 3D. The options are endless. Could this be the future of smartboards?
In Japan and other countries, many students have mini handheld computers that they do all the schoolwork on. They are the perfect size for being carried from class to class. They can do anything from send an email to write a report. These tiny weightless computers give unlimited access to the internet and other resources.
E-paper is the new future of writing. Never will paper and pen be the same. This paper is like a flat, flexible screen made to give the same effect as normal paper. Imagine your favorite site on a screen the same size as a piece of A4 paper. People may use these instead of normal paper, and teachers may hand these out with all the work on, or a site the student may need to use to find information instead of the tedious task of logging on and typing in the site the teacher has given you.
So how, in the future, may we, or even our children, be learning? Some of us are already part of an online public school. People can learn everything they need to off the net and have access to real teachers through video conferencing, MSN, and email. Tiny Branson Colo is one of these schools. This is proof that the information highway can take you anywhere. Faced with enrollment problems at its normal school, Branson started offering an online public school education to students in far-flung areas of the state. Over 850 students attend the school.
Riley is a prime example of someone who attends the school in cyberspace. He gets up at 6:30 every morning and is at the computer studying from 6:30 until 2. I live very far away from a normal school, he states, and this way is much more flexible and allows me to participate in my parents' busy farm life. Is this how we may be learning in the not-so-far-away future?
As you can see, education and teaching methods are always changing and finding new ways to teach us better. When we look at the education plans for teachers, we found that even in the space of 10 years, education has changed so much. Both plans have the same basics, but the 2008 one has more options for teachers and students alike. It has values as a compulsory part of the education in the 2008 copy, but in the 1997 one, the emphasis is purely educational.
Learning will always be based around technology and new resources that are available for teachers at the time, but also around values and group learning. So, on conclusion, we all have to use technology because as we embark into the business world, we will need these skills to make us who we truly could be. Future classrooms will develop into the world of technology. We will have smarter smartboards, supercomputers, and maybe even holograms flying around the classroom. Whether we're learning from a computer or sitting in a classroom, we will always have the basics of life.